Panther people, what up? The Carolina Panthers are in trouble, and I'll tell you why. What's going on? You watch your Panthers post to Phil Perkins. Thanks for joining us. I'm going to be honest with you guys. You know I'm not a big offseason guy. You know I'm not a big practice guy, but this is the most hype I've been in the offseason since the draft. And you know why? It's because, our quarterback has not been playing in the preseason. I don't know if he's going to be playing in the next preseason game against the Jets. So these joint practices between the Carolina Panthers and the New York Jets was basically a preseason game that was not televised. And from what I understand, hearing from the beat reporters that are on the field right now, including Sheena Marie, who I trust almost everything she says, her and Bash, I trust almost anything that they say. According to them, Bryce Young cooked. And the Carolina Panthers social media team did not disappoint. They made sure to put in every single big Bryce deep throw. That was almost like a shot to every single critic out there that was out there saying Bryce has had a crappy preseason, a crappy training camp. Well, guess what? He was up against guys who didn't owe him anything. He was up against a team that were not getting paid by David Tepper. They're getting paid by another sketchy owner. And so the fact that he was on fire and he threw way less picks than Aaron Rodgers. I don't think he threw any picks. I think Aaron Rodgers threw multiple picks in this afternoon's practice against the Carolina Panthers, whereas Bryce Young, this was basically his first preseason game, and he lit it up. So that's why I'm so hyped right now, because looking into the game on Saturday, I don't know if he's going to play. This is all we got, so that's why I'm hyped. That does not take away the point that I think the Panthers are in trouble right now, and the defense is already lacking the blue-chip players. We knew that. We lost a truck full of guys during the offseason, and as I said before in previous videos, check this one out. I still think the defense is going to be better as a whole because they have guys who see eye to eye and who are very much in tune with the Ejiro Evero defense, whether they played with him in previous stops in Denver or in Los Angeles, or they're in their second year with him here in Carolina. However, depth is going to be an issue, and talent on the defensive secondary now is suddenly in question because of injuries. And no, we're not talking about J.C. Horn. Xavier Woods is out. These are soft tissue injuries. Xavier Woods is out for multiple weeks because of a soft tissue injury. And then we got Dane Jackson, who is going to be basically corner number 2 on the opposite side of J.C. Horn. He's going to be out for up to 6 weeks, up to week 4 because of a soft tissue injury. And so we got J.C. Horn and Troy Hill, who came out, in substitution last year, and I think he played admirably, getting himself a contract, staying with the team. You got Chow Smith-Wade, the rookie, who could be thrust into this. And then again, you got J.C. Horn, who I mentioned has not played a full season yet. So we got problems. Soft tissue injuries are weird. They're not like bones. They don't heal stronger. They actually just get weaker with time. Sure, you can try your best, but when you tear them, we'll see how bad the tear is, I'm not sure. It's just scar tissue. That's it. It doesn't get replaced with more muscle. So it's never going to be the same. And so any tweak, they can be back in week 4 and then right back on the sideline in week 6 if they just move funny. So, and also we're talking about J.C. Horn being the anchor now. He's always been the anchor, but now you're hoping that he and a sub are going to hold down the fort in the defensive secondary for the rest of the year. And J.C. Horn's a guy who has not proven that he can stay healthy. I'm freaking out a little bit about that. I am freaking out. Chandler Zavala, who had an injury-plagued rookie season, he's out. Another soft tissue injury here. So you got basically Brady Christensen is going to be our backup offensive lineman extraordinaire, and that's it. Like, in terms of guys who have a knowledge of this offense, guys who've been here before, there's not much. So the depth there is hard. Obviously, when they start making cuts in other teams, I can see Dan Morgan and company definitely looking at cornerback, definitely looking at offensive line. Thank goodness Chuba Hubbard got hit in the knee by one of the Jets players, and he's absolutely fine. He's all good. He's shook up a little bit. He's got to start running lower either way. But my solution for the defensive secondary right now, I think we all know. I think he knows. Rock Hill guy, former Carolina Panther, currently without a team right now, and that's Stephon Gilmore. I mean, I know I'm not the first one to say it, but I think it just makes sense. If a competitive team doesn't want to bring him on, man's won a Super Bowl, from what I think he's won a Super Bowl. I know he probably wants to end at the very top of the mountain, but if not that, may as well be close to home. Look at Jadeveon Clowney. Is Jadeveon Clowney going to win a Super Bowl? If he wanted to win a Super Bowl with the team, he could have done that. He can go, he could have stayed with Baltimore. He can, I'm sure the Chiefs would love to have him. Who wouldn't want to say that he want to go back to the team that drafted him first overall in the Houston Texans? I mean, you can say that they're in the Super Bowl hunt. They're in the AFC, so it's going to be tough. But he chose to come back home. He's a more mature player. He can do that. Stephon Gilmore has always seemed to be a mature player, but if he's not getting looks from competitive teams that are looking for a Super Bowl, why not come back home? Sure, you're not going to get the big money contract. He's made over $100 million in his life. I mean, I could totally see it. I could totally see Stephon Gilmore come in, and hey, if he has a great season, but he still has that yearning to win a Super Bowl before the end of his career, and he plays great before the trade deadline, and you have faith that J.C. Horn is going to stay healthy, and you have faith in the Troy Hills and the Chad Smith Wades out there. Trade him for some assets. I mean, why not? I don't know. I can see that happen, but for now, I think he is immediate guy that you need to be calling, and I'm sure they already have. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get an update saying that he's a Carolina Panther come the weekend. Let's talk about the reason why I'm hype again. So Bryce Young has not been playing in preseason. He did not play preseason game 1. Dave Canales is not committal on whether he's going to be playing preseason game 2. So this a practice against the New York Jets, though, not his own team, he stepped up and he was on fire. He was locked in. Because you can say, okay, in my business, in TV, there's this rule that if you know you're live, you almost never make a mistake because there's something subconsciously in the back of your mind saying, I can't mess up because I'm live. There's no retakes. This is not a pre-tape. There's no 1 second, 2, 3 take. That's not the way it works. You're doing it now and you're going to make it good. But if you know that it's not live, something in the back of your mind says, I got a safety net. Oh, if I screw up, I could do okay. If I screw up, I could do it again. But if you're practicing, maybe I'm making things up here because I'm a Bryce apologist. I already got his jersey. But when you're playing against your own guys, there's a little bit of comfort subconsciously in the back of your head, But if you're playing against guys you do not know, maybe you might know them from college, but these are not guys you see every single day in the locker room, the shower, whatever, all that stuff. They're just walking around Charlotte. There's something. It feels like a game because these guys they're fighting for their jobs. You're kind of fighting for yours in a way. Subconsciously, you tighten up a little bit. In his sense, it's a good tighten because it's like a game. And we know Bryce Young is a gamer. You don't just wake up, as some of his teammates have been saying in his defense, unfortunately, because they've had to do this. You don't just wake up and win a Heisman. You work at it, and then you show up on Saturdays in college. And so I think we saw that. We wanted deep balls. We got deep balls. Terrace Marshall, absolutely on fire. He was catching all those deep balls, doing his thing. David Moore doing his thing. Unfortunately, some of our receivers were hurt. I didn't see anything about our guy Xavier Leggett, but that's okay. That's okay. What did I say about soft issues, foot issues? Just let him be healthy. I think he's going to be just fine when it comes to week 1. Honestly, maybe for a little bit in preseason week 3, but Bryce is on fire. Some of the wide receivers that need to be on fire were on fire. I didn't see much from Jonathan Mingo. Didn't hear about anything. Again, we weren't there. Maybe he wasn't even playing. Terrace Marshall, if anything, increases the trade value if you are wanting to train him. But I think he can be an asset. He could be that big body receiver. We don't have too many besides Xavier Leggett. And Bryce Young was on point. That's what we need. If he doesn't play on Saturday, which I doubt, I think even though it wasn't televised, I'd be happy. I'm happy just to know that the reporters that are on scene saying that the guy was looking good. Let me know what you guys think. Firstly, are you worried about the defensive secondary right now and the lack of depth or who we're relying on right now in a part of the team that is supposed to be the strength? Are you excited about Bryce Young in this joint practice against the Jets? Is it a sign of good things to come that he's starting to get the offense right now? And he's proving to us, even though he doesn't have to, kind of does though, that he's a gamer and he's good to go. And do you want him to even play in preseason week 2 on Saturday against these very New York Jets? Let me know what you guys think. See you guys soon. I'll get you the recap after the Saturday game, whether Bryce plays or not. See you soon.